So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick. And plus, I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Bulumnaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, Labour Ministry refuses to accept trade union appointment. Tertiary Loans Board reaches out to students who are in the dark about their options. And the sugar industry adopts state-of-the-art technology to increase production. Good evening, welcome to FPC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. The Registrar of Trade Unions does not recognize the reappointments of Daniel Urai and Felix Anthony to the Fiji Trades Union Congress. Registrar Taito Wanga says the ministry is carrying out its due diligence and will be advising the Minister Chiochi Konrote next week. Maggie Boyle with the details.
The recent reappointments by the Fiji Trade Union Congress of Daniel Urai and Felix Anthony are currently not recognized by the Registrar of Trade Unions.
These appointments by the Mr. Urai and Mr. Anthony, under the Registrar of Trade Unions, we'll have to do our due diligence, which we're still doing now. So our response on these appointments will be ready by next week. So, as you know, all the unions have got their own constitutions, which are rested with us too, and those constitutions should be consistent with the employment list promulgation. And
Taito Wanga says the ministry is also getting additional legal advice on the matter.
we are actually, our legal advisors here are going through the constitution to see whether these appointments are recognized. That is all.
He adds unions are entitled to their civil liberties to freely organize their workers. However, the constitution trumps any union constitution, and this is a game changer.
Under the law, the Office of Registrar of Trade Union basically is an oversight role to make sure that whatever the constitution they develop, they want, has to be consistent with the law. So when the constitution is not consistent, then we tell them, no, you have to adjust the national law, take precedent of any constitution. So
Daniel Urai and Felix Anthony confirmed their reappointments to FBC News earlier this week. The career unionists say their appointments were endorsed by the FTUC Executive Council after they failed to secure seats in the general elections. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
A suspect is in custody for his alleged involvement in the death of Tracy Ann O'Brien Moore of Victoria, Australia. The man was arrested early this afternoon and is currently being interrogated. Moore's decomposed body was found by the roadside. She was last seen at a party in Singatoka, close to where her body was found. The Tertiary Scholarship and Loans Board is visiting schools around Fiji, encouraging students to come to them for their education needs. The board has found that students who don't qualify for the 600 Topper scheme don't bother to inquire about other options available. Savara Tambua has the story.
The TSLB, as it's known, doesn't just provide university scholarships for the top students. This is a point that's been stressed to high school students all over the country as teams embark on their awareness campaign.
There is around about 7 types of schemes. We have the national topper schemes. We have the TELS, the existing ones, which basically incorporates the multi-ethnic affairs, the FAB scholarship, the PSC scholarship. Then we have the TELS, the new one, which has been implemented this year. We have the accommodation schemes. We have the overseas scheme, also the special tourist schemes.
Some says a scholarship would assist their parents in struggling to pay fees at the tertiary level.
I want to attain a scholarship to support me and my future studies, and also help my parents in looking for my fees.
Attending the workshop broadens my knowledge and is also a motivation for my future career. Not only that, this also prompted me to strive for better marks for my benefit and also for my parents as well.
Lorenanga says scholarships are also provided for students getting marks lower than 200.
If they are less than 200, then we also have those TVET scholarships offered by FNU, which they could also apply for in regards to the scholarship schemes.
Criteria that needs to be met by students are clearly stated on their website www.tslb.com.fj. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Fijian police officers returning from Liberia are likely to be kept in an isolation facility for 21 days to reduce the risk of Ebola. The revelation comes as the Ministry of Health decides on whether the process will be undertaken in West African country or when the police officers arrive home. Christopher Chand reports.
A total of 27 police officers are serving in Liberia. The first lot arrived back at the end of the month.
So that the 21 incubation day that you need for the virus to come out, or whatever it is, can be done either in West Africa or here, so that we can minimize the chance of that thing coming to Fiji. So we're doing as much as we can.
Liberia is the worst affected by the disease. The minister says Fiji is ready for any suspected cases.
The point that to make is the likelihood of Ebola coming here is very low. If it does come, then there's a big problem. So what we can do and what we've been trying to do, if there is a potential case, that we can isolate it, try to isolate the case. The cases that we know, the biggest risk that we have are our policemen in Liberia.
Usamate, who opened the World Diabetes Day in Nandi this morning and visited health facilities in the Western Division, says Ebola is not a major threat to Fiji, unlike non-communicable diseases which claim a life every 8 seconds.
I think NCDs, in terms of the magnitude of the problem, this is the problem for Fiji. NCDs is the problem. 80%. We're talking about diabetes now, 30%. That means out of the 3 of you, 1 of you has got diabetes.
Usamate says Fiji's concern is the alarming statistic which shows a staggering number of people becoming diabetic or having non-communicable disease. 1 person is amputated every 12 hours due to diabetes. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Fiji's sugarcane industry has adopted new technology to increase productivity. The sugarcane industry Web Geographic Information System, or WebGIS portal, is a technological breakthrough that promises better management of our sugar industry. Ritika Pratap reports.
The WebGIS portal is a first-of-its-kind system that will digitize and store information on individual farms and the performance of the entire sugar industry. The portal will be directly linked to the Fiji Sugar Corporation database.
The portal will allow users to view the geographical location of growers. It will allow them to view the cane access roads that serve the growers, and it will also provide live information on harvests and on estimated tonnage of production.
The new system marks a great leap forward for Fiji, as it's being used by successful sugar industries around the world. The system will improve Fiji's ability to evaluate the industry's performance and allow the FEC, the government and other stakeholders to make better policy decisions.
We can evaluate the performance of public sectors and even each of the 4 sugar mills. And we can monitor the tonnage harvested and make estimates of the expected total industry tonnage more accurately and quickly.
The Prime Minister says the new system will provide real-time performance updates.
For each farm, we can enter all sorts of other information, apart from its precise location and parameters, such things as the name of the grower, the farm number and sector, the cane access road used by the grower, the location of the nearest mill, and the variety of the cane being grown.
The system cost $875,000 and is supported by the European Union. The aim is to introduce the portal to Vanuatu next year and the rest of the sugar-producing sectors thereafter. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, European Union commits to helping Fiji sugar exports at the end of preferential pricing.
Yani borong tu main radio Fiji 1 totoka tunan raki na ngona ni ko ni takini ni nandoba tu main nang ngongo me da ben naru na ngo pinga rabi na singale ni ko ni sangola binaka oya wana kamana langi na makia na bi mataka mai na diwa ki na ruwa na bi singale bo mai na moni tikina borong bukan radio Fiji 1 nando mai biti bonga ni bi ni adu.
Welcome back to FBC News. The sugar market in Europe is likely to become more competitive by 2017. The World Trade Organization requires the European Union to do away with preferential market access for sugar coming from African, Caribbean and Pacific countries. EU Head of Delegation to the Pacific, Andrew Jacobs, says they're working on providing all the support they can to Fiji to help keep our sugar industry competitive. Jacob says following the successful September election, they will now be able to work with the Fijian government directly.
Fiji Sugar is going to have to compete with European sugar beet producers. So we are very keen to provide all the support we can to help to make Fiji Sugar more competitive, to ensure that Fiji Sugar is up to the challenge of the competition.
The Fijian government has provisionally applied the Interim Economic Partnership Agreement to continue to access preferential market prices in Europe. Now, Fiji's transportation system will become more environmentally sustainable in the future thanks to the two-day annual forum of the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport that ended today. Sakyusa Naivua has more.
Electric vehicles are just one of the prospects for the future. The CEO of Timbara Buses says more innovative ideas are needed for green growth in transportation.
As our company is concerned, we have embarked upon electric buses, which I announced yesterday. And, that's without the engine. So it's got batteries. And we're looking at charging the buses using solar energy down the line, to mitigate our dependence on fossil fuel, which is the biggest problem that the country faces every time there's an increase in oil prices.
The Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport have been challenged by the outcomes from the two-day forum. Assistance from the Asian Development Bank helped to formulate new land and maritime transport policies and a transport development plan.
These three documents are about two-thirds of the way from being completed, and the majority of the outcomes that will form part of the communique of this two-day transport consultation forum will actually be discussed and see if it could be included as part of these very important three policy documents.
The ministry is working on transport options suitable for all stakeholders and has endorsed an MOU for ongoing research with the University of the South Pacific.
This is some areas that we're looking at, alternative transport modes and also alternative transport fuels on the way forward in the transport sector.
The forum is an annual event that aims to explore alternative, reliable and affordable transport fuels. It is also aimed at improving key land and maritime transport infrastructures funded by government through the Fiji Road Association and government shipping services. Sakyusa Naivua, FBC News.
Members of the public are being encouraged to send creative photos that will generate more awareness about violence against women and girls. The photo competition is being organized by UN Women Fiji Multicultural Country Office and Digital Fiji in the lead up to an international campaign to eliminate violence against women.
The aim of the competition is to create more awareness on violence against women and girls during the 16 days of activism, which begins next Tuesday. The competition will see people post pictures to say what a world without violence would look like to them and post it on the UN Women's Facebook page.
No, violence against women is that epidemic. It is that virus, but nobody's talking about it. And we need you to be talking about it. And so we really hope that with this partnership, we will help that conversation grow in Fiji and help the awareness being built and help people really take ownership of this as an issue that they have to take a stand against.
Boniet says Fiji's rate of violence against women and girls is amongst the highest in the world, according to the Fiji Women's Crisis Center report.
Fiji's rates of violence against women and girls are among the highest in the world. 64% of women who have ever been in an intimate relationship have experienced physical or sexual violence by a husband or an intimate partner in their lifetime. 64%. That's double the global average.
Winners of the promotion will also receive a wide range of prizes during the competition.
And that's what this competition is really trying to get to be a part. It's getting people to be the here and now and to actually and to engage in an issue, given the stats that we've heard, is something that society sort of needs to really tackle.
While taking photos and posting these on Facebook is fun, the ugly reality is that globally, 1 out of 3 women will be affected by violence in their lifetime. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Former French ambassador to Fiji, Gilles Montagnier, has left Fiji today after completing his term. In his farewell speech, Montagnier says Fiji will play a growing role on the international scene and will reinforce its place as a regional leader. Montagnier hopes commercial relationship between French territory, New Caledonia and Fiji will grow as a high-level delegation led by the Prime Minister is expected to visit the country. And the new French ambassador to Fiji, Mikel Dojevic, will be arriving on Monday. Well, coming up in sports, all the results from the Coral Coast Sevens.
My name is Luca. I live on the 2nd floor.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Mulubinaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's cause
Well, welcome to FPC Sports. Freight Services Red Rock will not feature in the Cup quarterfinals for the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens at Lawanga Park in Singatoka. The Lotte Rasinga coach side lost its second game to Mana Graphics Uluinakau 26-12 today. The team started the tournament on a high note after defeating Lomai Viti 19-14 in their opening match. And Red Rock later lost their second match to defending champions Yamadhya 26-10. Also, the teams to feature in the Cup quarterfinals of the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens have been determined. Defending champions Yamadhya will take on the Serevi Select team, Toka Westfield Dragons to take on Police, Wardens Green will face Tamandamu, and Mana Graphics Uluinaka will take on Daveta. The quarterfinals will begin at 7:15 tonight. TFL Fijiana looks set to qualify for the quarterfinals after remaining unbeaten at the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens. The Ilyasa Tanivula coach side beat Mana Graphic Striders 45-5 today, following the wins over Pacific Mambas 28-0 and Highlanders 33-7. And the other third round of the women's division matches, Murray Seahawks defeated Sunny Bank 22-14, Serevi Select defeated Lotoka 28-0, and Aussie Pearls defeated New Caledonia 36-5. And in other sports news, 11 more players have signed contracts with the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team. FRU Chief Executive Officer Randronro Tambualevu has commended the players for signing the contracts. Only Captain Ose Kolinisa was previously contracted by the FRU. The team will march into camp next Wednesday, preparing for the Dubai and South Africa Sevens. Liam William returns to the familiar position of fullback for Wales on Sunday, providing some tough opposition for the Flying Fijians. The Dragons will host the Vodafone Flying Fijians at 3:30 a.m. on Sunday. Fiji National University is opening a Centre for Sports Development and Elite Performance at its Nasinu campus. It's FNU's way of ensuring relevance and sustainability in its programs. Rohit Deo has more.
Your sour side to go backwards.
The Center for Sports Development and Elite Performance will provide opportunities for young people to pursue higher education while improving their athletic abilities.
If they have a track record for elite sports performance, whether it's come through Coca-Cola Athletics or the Dean's Under 18 rugby program, or through any club, district soccer or netball, and they are really at representative levels, then they have the opportunity to add value to that sporting prowess.
It is often seen that potential sports stars shine in secondary school but disappear from the sporting arena straight after leaving school. The FNU program ensures athletes continue to pursue their passion while still getting an education.
I think the university's main aim is to always contribute to programs that are sustainable, and I think that if we're able to pull this off the ground, we are contributing a great deal to raising a generation of young people who will eventually be very strong advocates of healthy living, good lifestyles, fitness and wellness, and will be good role models.
The Sports Development Center will initially focus on rugby, football, netball, bodybuilding, hockey, swimming and athletics. With the right training, the center will also breed a healthy population, reduce the mortality rate caused by poor life choices and reduce levels of obesity. The FNU believes sports and physical education have a crucial role to play in the development of Fiji. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Amalgamated Telecom Holdings has paid a final dividend of $8.4 million or 2 cents per share to shareholders. The Fiji National Provident Fund was paid $4.9 million, while the government received $2.9 million. The final dividend was approved by shareholders at its annual general meeting on 22nd October. It's in addition to an interim dividend of $12.6 million paid in March. ATH has paid over $21 million to shareholders this year. Showers affected Kandavu, southern Lao, Vanuatu and the interior and eastern parts of the other larger islands today. A weak trough of low pressure remains slow moving over the Solomon Islands and extends eastwards south of Rotuma. Meanwhile, stationary front lies over Vanuatu and extends eastwards to the south of Fiji. Warm temperatures all over the country today. Lautoka was a burning 34 degrees this afternoon. As for tomorrow's forecast, it's for fine conditions in the west, turning to showers over the Fiji group towards the afternoon. And the further outlook, fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, possible afternoon or evening showers. Southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas, moderate southerly swells. Recapping our main stories, Labour Ministry refuses to accept trade union appointment. Tertiary Loans Board reaches out to students who are in the dark about their options. And sugar industry adopts state-of-the-art technology to increase production. On to our poll question. Are you satisfied with the education reforms announced recently? You can visit our FPC website to take part. You can also watch Coral Coast 7 straight after news. And remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's our bulletin for today. It is also my last news read as an FBC News presenter. 2 years ago, I was bestowed with this life-changing opportunity and I thank the CEO Riaz Said Qayyum for that. I would like to thank my background crew who have been influential in making my career a success. To the news team, to Ingest, to my studio news crew, to those who trained me and gave me sound advice, Vinaka Vakalevu. Not forgetting you, the viewers, thank you for appreciating my talent. Remember, you are #1 with FBC. Stay blessed and one last time, Nimo de Mada.